You might not know it to look at me, but in the last 7 years I have spent a lot of time and trouble and endured a lot of pain to earn a 3rd-degree brown belt in the martial art of ninjutsu. And it is actually true. I'm about 2 belt tests away from being a full-fledged ninja. I'm not making this up. And as I stand right now, I could beat the crap out of all but one person in the room. And that one person knows who they are. Believe me, it's not Torn. Yeah, the sound booth knows. Anyway, so the beginnings of my ninja career were not especially illustrious. When I heard that there was a dojo in town that would teach people how to be a ninja, I assumed it would be like on a mountaintop or in the forest somewhere. The Kusa Dojo is on Pearl Street, a couple blocks north of I-25. So that was a little disillusioning. And when I got there and I walked in, I'm like, how good can these ninjas be? I can see them. They're right there. So I was a little disappointed at that. But they went and they got me the uniform, and already I was feeling better. Taekwondo, Kendo, Karate, your lesser martial arts, they all seem to wear white uniforms. Maybe not across the board, but my experience. The ninjas wear black. So right there, there's a cool factor. And once I got into uniform and I had the white belt on, I thought, great, let's start learning the rolling and the falling and the punching and the kicking, the blocking and the throwing and the choking. They said, no, first you're going to learn a front roll. And then after you learn a front roll, you're going to learn a side roll. And then for variety, we're going to teach you a back roll. So apparently, it's really important for ninjas to have grade school gymnastics skills. If they had gotten out pennants and said, we're working on floor exercises next, I was out of there. But no, after I learned the rolls, they said, okay, now you need to learn a front fall, and a side break fall, and for variety, a back break fall. Because apparently ninjas are freaking clumsy. And I'm sitting there thinking, I've been falling down my whole life. I think I know how. But I had to learn the special way. And even then, after I learned the rolls and the falls, I still didn't get to learn the blocking and kicking, punching, throwing, striking. I had to learn the shout. Now, if you've ever seen a martial arts movie or had any martial arts experience, you know about the shout, because all the martial arts have this. The karate guys, they say, "Hai!" which is Japanese for yes. And I don't know how intimidating that would be in Japan. Somebody goes to attack you, you say, "Hi! Oh, he agreed with me. I will stop attacking him so we can form a business strategy." The Taekwondo guys say something, but I don't know what it is, because they wear so much padding on their little faces that you can't quite hear it, the poor guys. Now the ninjas, we're badass, we don't wear any pads. And we say to, which is Japanese for sword. A step up from saying yes. If I'm ever attacked in Japan, oh, he shouted the name of a weapon at me. I will stop attacking him before he come up with something worse. But I don't know how effective it would be if I'm jumped, say, in 5 points. I know what'll happen. I'll say, "To!" And the guy attacking me will be like, "What do you mean, to? You just hit me with your hand. I'm going to cap you on principle." Hold my gun sideways and everything. So I'll put the fake gun away. There, it's gone. So I'm trying to come up with something a little more intimidating in English, and I've got a couple works in progress. For example, machine gun, or zombie, or my personal favorite, Justin Bieber. Because frankly, that kid scares the crap out of me, so I want to use it to scare the crap out of evildoers. But once I learned the rolls and the falls and the shouts, we finally got to the good stuff. And there is so much good stuff in the ninja manual, I can't even begin to tell you. And the ninjas would do anything that they had to get the job done, including but not limited to hair pulling, eye gouging, biting. There's a whole, I'm not making this up, section in the manual on biting. Ninjas were the junior high girls of the Japanese feudal system. And in addition to biting, they don't call it pinching. If you have a little sister, as I do, you know what a pinch is. The ninjas have what's called a skin grab. It's like a pinch times 1,000. Basically, the idea is you get a hold of as much skin as you can, and you twist until it comes off. And it's incredible. And the first time I got a skin grab on my inner thigh, I found out I have a 2-foot vertical leap. Previously completely unknown to me. But there was a very, very cool thing that happened. It was a couple years ago. With all the training, the hope is that eventually your body starts to know what to do without you having to think about it. And that happened to me. One of the partner I was working with came at me with an attack, and I didn't know it was coming. I knew he was going to attack, but not how. And my body reacted, and I took him down without having to think about it, which is incredible to realize that with all the time and expense that my body will do what it needs to without my brain having to be involved. The downside is right about that same time, my girlfriend learned that it was no longer a good idea to surprise hug me from behind. Though I did apologize about 1,000 times as I drove her to the hospital. She was fine, it was just a sprain. But we do try to take it easy when we're working with partners. I'm not making any of this up. When I've done stuff in the dojo where sensei has said, okay, at this point, this is where you break their arm. At this point in the technique, this is where you break their, shatter their knee. This is where you choke them unconscious. We do a lot of fairly serious stuff. But in the dojo, you don't want to break somebody's arm. It's weird. You break somebody's arm on Monday, they don't want to work with you on Tuesday. Human beings being how they are. So we try to take it easy on each other. Usually it's not a big deal because I will be assigned to work with somebody of a similar size and stature. A couple months ago, you work with whoever they tell you to work with. I got to work with Coral. Coral is a 13-year-old girl. I outweigh Coral by 100 pounds. I'm a foot and a half taller than Coral. It was incredibly one-sided and unfair, and not in the way you might think. Because I've been taught not to do horrible things to girls. And so I'm sitting there going, what in the world can I work on? The move where I pick somebody up by their head and throw? No, I don't think I'm going to pick a 12-year-old, 13-year-old girl up by her head. Let's just put all the throws away, and the punches, and the kicks, and the chokes, and the blocks. You know what, girl, let's work on bowing. Yeah, I don't practice bowing. Let's work on bowing. And then the unfair part was that then it became her turn. And whereas I had been treating Coral like she was made of glass and I did not want to break her, Coral had no compunctions whatsoever about beating the ever-loving crap out of me. For 40 minutes, she repeatedly punched me in the groin, kicked me in the kidney, smacked me upside the temple, and established that as a junior high girl, she was well-versed in the hair pulling and eye gouging and biting. She was tearing me to pieces. And I had a moment during that class that really crystallized my entire ninjutsu experience. And I'll close with this. I was the practice dummy, and the instructor had come over to help Coral with the technique. I was face down on the mat. The instructor had her foot on my neck, was twisting my arm behind my back in a way that God never intended for it to go. And I was giving the universal martial arts sign for please stop doing that, which is to go like this. And she was ignoring me, the instructor was, because she knew, A, she was teaching, and 2, she knew that it wouldn't kill me, which apparently was the case, although it felt like it would at the time. And the only relief I got was when she let up on my arm so that Coral could take my arm and step on my neck and twist it behind my back. And there was a moment of absolute Zen-like clarity, and I realized something I will take with me to the grave. I'm paying $150 a month for this. Anyway, working on black belt and also working on some comedy, and I appreciate you guys letting me take last. You've been a great audience.